It's a pleasant good evening and welcome to News Hour with me, Ibrahim Samura. Coming up in tonight's bulletin, ECOWAS Commission engages a cross-section of civil society organizations to popularize its Vision 2050 agenda. BBC Media Action launches a 2-year youth-focused project. This now with voice. And President Julius Maada Bio, accompanied by the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, tours some of Sierra Leone's most important historic and modern tourist sites. All these stories and more are lined up in this edition of News Hour. Now our first story tonight. The ECOWAS Commission, together with OneHelp, has engaged a cross-section of civil society organizations in Freetown to popularize the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda. The vision is a long-term development plan of the community, serving as the collective aspiration of the people of West Africa. Here is the report. The session, with CSOs drawn from different organizations, was designed to present the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda for the community and working closely with civil society organizations to help popularize the document in the communities they are operating. The vision articulates the key priority areas of focus for tackling the major development challenges facing the ECOWAS community under the slogan, ECOWAS of the peoples, peace and prosperity for all. ECOWAS resident representative Ambassador John Azuma said the ECOWAS Vision 2050 is not merely a strategic document but a proud ambition for the people of the ECOWAS community, which places citizens of the sub-region at the center with special attention on women's empowerment, youth and employment, and vulnerable groups.
The vision encapsulates 5 key pillars. 1. Peace, security, and stability. 2. Governance and the rule of law. 3. Economic integration and connectivity. 4. Social inclusion. 5. Transformation and innovation.
Presenting the ECOWAS Vision 2050, Planning and Coordinator Officer, ECOWAS Commission Patrick Lamboy, said gender equality, youth employment, digitalization, climate resilience, and capacity building are the cross-cutting issues captured in the document.
The bread and water pillar, transformation and sustainable development, that is where we do things around agriculture, etc., etc. And then pillar 5, social inclusion, youth, gender, disabled, etc., etc.
Head of ECOWAS National Office, MODEP, Komba Momo, catalogued a host of ECOWAS Commission achievements and intervention in Sierra Leone, citing the ECOWAS intervention during the country's civil war, funds to the human capital development projects, supports to agriculture, support the construction of the ECOWAS logistics depot in Lungi, the Kono University, and award scholarships to girls, among others. The ECOWAS Vision 2050 is a shared, inclusive roadmap for a peaceful, prosperous, and integrated West Africa focused on people's well-being. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown. Court of Sierra Leone has begun hearing an appeal filed by the defense team of popular musician and influencer Zainab Sharif, challenging a conviction and sentence handed down earlier this year by Magistrate Mustafa Bremaja of Magistrates Court No. 1. Muhammad Simbi Kuroma reports.
Following Zainab Sharif's sentence of 4 years and 2 months imprisonment, her defense team has filed an appeal against a conviction. At the hearing before Justice Magigba, State Counsel Ibrahim Tholi raised a preliminary objection, arguing that the defense had failed to comply with the appeal rules. Tholi submitted that the defense did not adequately set out or explain the judgment on the challenge, stressing that appeals must strictly adhere to procedural requirements. He urged the court to invoke Rule 8 of the appeal rules and dismiss the application. Lead Defense Counsel R.S. Wright countered that the objection was premature. He argued that Rule 8 provides guidance but does not impose absolute compliance with every statutory provision. Wright further contended that the prosecution's objection lacked legislative foundation, insisting that admissibility of appeals is a matter for judicial determination, not prosecutorial discretion. After hearing both sides, Justice Gegba adjourned the matter to June 18, 2026, when he is expected to rule on whether the appeal will proceed or be dismissed. After the preliminary stage, Zainab Sharif was found guilty of incitement and using threatening language under Section 3(2) of the Public Order Act 1965. Sharif's conviction stemmed from remarks made at a political rally in January, where prosecutors presented video evidence alleging she called election rigging treason and said those responsible and their families should be killed. The court found the statement amounted to incitement and threatening language. Her case has drawn significant public attention, with observers noting its implications for freedom of expression, political speech, and the application of Sierra Leone's public order laws. For SLBC, Mohamed Kuroma reporting.
The Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, in partnership with the Political Parties Regulation Commission and the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, has begun a 2-day stakeholder engagement aimed at introducing electoral and political education into university curriculum across the country. Stella Bangura witnessed the commencement of the engagement and sent us this report.
The initiative is part of the implementation of Recommendation 13 of the Cross-Party Committee Report on Electoral Systems and Management Bodies Review, which calls for the inclusion of governance and electoral studies in universities. Opening the ceremony, Commissioner Zainab Mosir underscored the importance for electoral bodies and academia to work together so as to move from projects to policy, thereby changing the trajectory of uninformed citizens. Addressing participants, Chief Electoral Commissioner, ECSL, Edmond Sylvester Alpha said the engagement marks a significant step towards strengthening democracy through education. He noted that while millions of Sierra Leoneans participate in elections every 5 years, very few receive formal training in electoral administration and governance. Commissioner Alpha explained that elections are often managed by temporary staff, including students, teachers, and civil servants who are trained within a short period before polling day. He said integrating electoral education into higher institutions will help build a pool of qualified professionals with a deeper understanding of election management, electoral laws, and democratic principles.
For too long, the knowledge of how elections are managed, the legal frameworks, the logistical architecture, the ethical imperatives has remained concentrated in a handful of practitioners. This engagement seeks to change that. An educated electorate is the best defense against misinformation, electoral manipulation, and apathy. Universities must be the crucible where the defense is enforced.
Speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Deputy Minister Aziz Sajo Kamara described the engagement as a practical response to a key national reform recommendation, stating the proposed curriculum will provide students with knowledge on democratic governance, civic responsibility, and political participation while promoting a common understanding of electoral processes across institutions.
Electoral education is not the sole responsibility of election management bodies. Likewise, universities cannot operate in isolation when developing programs that seek to strengthen democratic participation and governance. A standardized curriculum will therefore enhance and broaden understanding of democratic governance and electoral processes.
Representatives from the Political Parties Regulation Commission and Tertiary Education Commission explained that the engagement was timely and strategic, noting the gathering is not only to design a new academic program, but contributing to the country's democracy. Participants, including university administrators and curriculum experts, praised the initiative and pledged their support towards its successful implementation. The engagement is expected to lay the groundwork for a stronger partnership between electoral institutions and universities in preparing future generations to play an active role in safeguarding Sierra Leone's democracy. Reporting for SLBC, Stella Bangura.
As we are still in the month of World Environment Day, environmental sustainability remains a major priority for Sierra Leone as the country continues to face the effects of climate change. In response, the Media Initiative for Climate Change and the Environment has launched the Greener Future campaign aimed at promoting tree planting and environmental awareness among young people. A symbolic tree planting exercise was held at the Freetown Secondary School for Girls as part of the Greener Future campaign. Emmanuel Williams has the details.
The fight against climate change in Sierra Leone has taken a new step as stakeholders, pupils and international partners gathered at the Freetown Secondary School for Girls for the official launch of the Greener Future campaign. The campaign seeks to empower young people to actively participate in protecting the environment through tree planting and climate education. A representative from the Chinese Embassy in Sierra Leone highlighted the importance of global partnership in tackling climate change, noting that environmental protection is a shared responsibility.
Planting trees means more than just a symbolic act. It is a real way to fight climate change, repair our ecosystem, and secure a bright future for young generation. Trees take in carbon and bring us fresh air.
Climate advocates say Sierra Leone is vulnerable to environmental degradation, calling for increased community participation.
We are in your school to plant 25 trees, and we are doing that together with the Chinese Embassy in Sierra Leone.
Pupils were encouraged to take the message beyond the school by planting trees in their communities and becoming environmental ambassadors. For LCBC News, Emmanuel Williams reporting.
BBC Media Action has launched a 2-year youth-focused initiative aimed at strengthening civic participation and amplifying the voices of young people across the country. The project, titled This Nawi Voice, was funded by the European Union and brought together key stakeholders in mainstreaming media, representatives from the European Union, delegation in Sierra Leone, staff of BBC Media Action, students from Farabi College, Jala University, and the Central University at Mile 91, among others. Christina Camara reports.
The launching of the BBC Media Action project, titled This Nawi Voice, at a stakeholder meeting held at CCSL Hall on Kingaman Road in Freetown, marks the beginning of a coordinated effort to enhance youth engagement in civic and democratic processes. The initiative is expected to run for 2 years and focuses on empowering young people aged 15 to 30 who represent a large segment of Sierra Leone's population but remain underrepresented in governance and decision-making structures.
This Our Voice project, we were told, is a 24-month-year-old project designed to help young people, especially those between age 15 and 30, to find their voices and use it meaningfully through media and digital platforms. It creates opportunity for us to speak, share our views, and take part in shaping discussions that affect our lives and communities.
The project will be implemented through selected university media hubs, including Frabe College, Central University at Mile 91, and the Jala University. It also involves partnerships with major media institutions such as SLBC, AYV, and IRN. According to project officials, participants will benefit from practical training in journalism, storytelling, digital content production, and civic communication.
We want a radio station where the young people are free, to discuss any topical issue of the day. So that's the reason why we have these 3 universities. So each university, we're going to establish, or we're going to create a hub that will host 80 university students, and these students are from the mass communication, or for schools that don't have the mass communication, they have another communication kind of program from that faculty or department.
A national digital platform will further support young content creators, providing space for dialogue, collaboration, and civic engagement on issues affecting their communities. Stakeholders underscore the importance of collaboration in ensuring the success of the initiative, while emphasizing the role of media in promoting democracy and inclusive participation.
As Sierra Leone's public broadcaster, we are proud to be a part of this journey. We look forward to welcoming some of the participants, some of the creators into our newsrooms and production spaces, because the public broadcast is actually missing content. We have human resources, but we need capacity. And these small measures will actually add value, not only to the young people, but also add value to the institutions that we're working for.
What we call an action. This project will definitely support young people in this country to claim and negotiate their rights and set agendas around the issues that affect them by having greater voice through media and communication, but also thereby becoming agents of positive change in their communities.
The European Union reaffirmed its continued support for programs that empower young people and strengthen democratic engagement across Sierra Leone. BBC Media Action says the project is expected to reach at least 200,000 young people nationwide and contribute to building a more informed, active, and participatory youth population. SLBC News in Freetown, Christian Akamara reporting.
You are watching News Hour coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation from a broadcasting house here in Freetown. In a significant move towards enhancing digital skills of law enforcement, the Victory 10 organization has partnered with the Directorate of Science, Technology and Innovation to provide free information and communication technology capacity building training for 125 police officers across Freetown, Bo and Kenema. The initiative aims to empower members of the Sierra Leone Police Force and their families with essential digital skills, ensuring they are well equipped to navigate the challenges of modern technology. Abdul Mansari witnessed the opening session of the training at IPAM and filing these reports.
So this notes, I want to, on behalf of the IGP, formally open this basic ICT training for personnel.
The launch of the digital skills training featured computer experts and both junior and senior officers, including the Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIGP Sir Yomba Senesi, who emphasized the crucial role of ICT training in both personal and organizational development. DIGP Senesi stated that in the rapidly evolving technological landscape, it was imperative that their police officers possess the skills necessary for effective communication, knowledge sharing, and data management.
The emergence of AI, fake news, if you are not well grounded in technology, you cannot perform well. You'll be a novice. Are we together? So that is why, as participants, you need to pay much attention to this program, this training, so that when they are out there, you'll be able to perform well.
Director of Victory Teens Organization, Magdalene Martha Leby, said the initiative is not just about training police officers, it's about empowering them and their families through education and vocational trainings. She stated some of their plans that were approved by the IGP were to conduct AI training for police officers and digital skills for their wives and children, to create a digitally empowered police force that can contribute significantly to community safety and national development.
Instead, VTO has impacted over 1,000 young people through ITC, vocational training, scholarship, entrepreneurship, and leadership programs. This dream extends beyond individual success stories.
Project Manager DSTI Tigidankeba highlighted the development of a comprehensive human resource management system for the government that will enable institutions to manage their data efficiently. She noted that the training program aims not only to improve operational efficiency within the police force, but also to combat misinformation during critical periods such as elections. Beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the initiative, stating it was vital for their service delivery in the country. SLBC News, Abdul Mansuri reporting.
The government of Sierra Leone has taken another major step to strengthen the country's energy sector. President Julius Maada Bio has commissioned 2 new power facilities. The 30 megawatts regional emergency solar power intervention project known as Respite in Newton Western Area Rural Districts and a 10 megawatts power plant in Lunge. The president says the projects will bring electricity to thousands of households for the first time and improve power supply across the country. Our senior status correspondent, Margaret Senge, reports.
The commissioning of the 30 megawatt solar plants in Newton supports the government's Big 5 Game Changers agenda. The project aligns with Pillar 4, which focuses on infrastructure, technology, and innovation. It's also been hailed as a landmark investment in Sierra Leone's energy sector and the country's largest addition of clean renewable energy to date. President Julius Maada Bio says the project reflects his administration's vision of energy-secured Sierra Leone. He says every home, school, health facility, and business deserve access to renewable, affordable, and sustainable electricity. According to the president, the new power plants will strengthen the national grid, improve service delivery, and expand electricity access to hundreds of thousands of Sierra Leoneans.
Hereby officially commission the Newton 30 megawatt solar power plant with a 15 megawatt hour storage and the Lunge 10 megawatt power plant with a 6 megawatt hour battery storage system under the Regional Emergency Solar Intervention Project, Respite. May these facilities bring light where there was darkness, opportunity where there was limitation, hope where there was uncertainty, and prosperity where there was stagnation.
The president also called on development partners and private sector investors to deepen collaboration with the government in advancing Sierra Leone's national development priorities.
This achievement should give confidence to every investor, development partner, and institution looking to engage with our country. Today's commissioning is not only a celebration of what has been achieved. It is an invitation to what is possible. Sierra Leone possesses extraordinary renewable energy potential. We are blessed with abundant sunshine, significant hydro resources, and growing opportunities in clean energy technologies. I therefore extend a clear invitation to investors, development partners, international financial institutions, climate finance institutions, technology providers, innovators across the world to join us in accelerating Sierra Leone's energy transformation. To the private sector, both domestic and international, I say Sierra Leone is open for investment, Sierra Leone is open for partnership.
Minister of Energy Cyril Grant says electricity is not a luxury, rather it's a necessity. He describes the Respite project as the largest solar facility ever installed in Sierra Leone. The minister says the project will do more than providing electricity, adding that it will create opportunities, strengthen livelihood, and drive innovation and support national development.
In Lunge, across the Great Rokel River north from here, we have installed 10 megawatts of solar power, and that power will supplement the existing thermal plant, reducing its operating hours and its fuel appetite. We will also connect in Lunge the PC Agriculture Onion Farm to the grid, and what that does, it will cut its costly captive power generation. It's a win-win situation, isn't it? And in due course, the international airport will be connected as a reliable backup supply, giving the gateway to our country the energy security it deserves.
World Bank country manager for Sierra Leone, Abdul Mwonge, says the project is valued at approximately $75 million. He says the government of Sierra Leone contributed 40% of the total costs. He reflected on the project's journey and the progress made within a relatively short period.
It's important to realize that the energy transition is happening. Solar is part of the story, hydro is part of the story, and everything else coming along. On December 4th, 2024, we were in this very place when we are handing over the site to the Chinese contractor. Exactly 1.5 years later, you are here to commission, and the lights are flowing.
Paramount Chief of Koya Chiefdom, Baikompa Bomboli III, welcomed the project and thanked President Bio for what he describes as significant development gains, particularly in the energy sector. He says access to electricity will improve healthcare delivery, strengthen education, enhance security, and stimulate income activities in surrounding communities. The chief also urged residents to work together to protect the facility and its infrastructure.
I want to use the local dialect to reach my people. Do ya now, in don't through your own best. May we own this project? What do I mean by may we own this project? Vandalism, theft of batteries, and destruction of solar panels should not be tolerated. Now, may you too, for all these projects, let us take that opportunity as community leaders. Anyone caught sabotaging this facility should face the full weight of both traditional laws and national justice. Dear Ifabule, me dey beg we all way there for thief battery, for thief solar panel there. Make we be soldier man, may we be security, may we be policeman there for this place here so that tomorrow we begin them, generations yet unborn can always remember. He is making a landmark. This is his history, this is his own making. But When he leaves tomorrow, that's time we begin to say, oh yes, that was President Bio who constructed this.
He further commended landowners who made the land available for the projects. Residents expressed excitement over the development. Many says their communities have gone without electricity for over 20 years. They believe the project will transform their lives and create new opportunities for businesses, students and families.
Really, I feel happy. I really appreciate what my government can do for we in our community. For especially with the comrade, it's not really easy for we for grow up picking. So if this kind of thing don't kind of with community, I believe say we say if they can't get away now, I will say if they will get a little one for support to picking them.
I feel so good. I feel so happy, you know, actually, because Martiwe we've been pray for, and indeed it don't kind of do much. From this period where I've been done there, this 20 good year where I don't serve here. Now there light don't come. I appreciate them so much. I appreciate President Bio for what he don't bring. We they tell President Bio say what he don't do for this community. We go ever remain for praise. We go ever remain for pray for him. That goodness it will be a good thing for all.
Officials says the 30 megawatt solar plants, supported by more than 15 megawatt hours of battery storage, will provide first-term electricity access to an estimated 4,000 households. The project will also boost power supply to the international airports and its surrounding areas. The Respite project is expected to benefit communities including Magendeun, Bobu, Magbath, Katu, and Mabrown. The commissioning of the 30 megawatt solar energy marks a turning point for renewable energy future. It is expected to deliver clean, renewable, reliable power to thousands of homes and businesses. This is more than infrastructure, it is growth, and it is a brighter future for Sierra Leone. For SLBC News, Margaret Senge reporting.
Still with the presidency, President Julius Maada Bio, accompanied by the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, has toured some of Sierra Leone's most important historic and modern tourism sites. The visit highlights the government's commitment to growing tourism as a key driver of economic diversification. It also makes President Bio the first sitting president of Sierra Leone to officially visit Bones Island. The inspection and heritage tour forms part of efforts to showcase the country's tourism infrastructure, cultural heritage, environmental conservation initiatives, and destination development potential. Let's now join again our senior State House correspondents.
President Julius Maada Bio began his tourism tour at the historic Bones Island. There, tour guide Francis Momo provided a detailed account of the island's role in the transatlantic slave trade. He described Bones Island as a symbol of resilience, cultural memory, and urged Sierra Leoneans to learn their history to better understand their identity and heritage.
This space has always been called the warehouse of humanity because humans were cramped here, they were processed here, and then chained and then brought into the building. So here used to be the trading area. So like today, say people when they go Luma, they go to spaces through the sloop trade. They come in from the river down there using African villages, and they come down to this trading area. Here people are processed, they were checked, they were branded, because Saint Sierra Leone really for the slave plantation owners in the US and the Caribbean knew that Sierra Leoneans coming from this region were having the expertise in rice growing, even in sugar plantations. So for instance in Barbados, they were always looking forward to them. So even trademarking our people was significant to their profit making.
Standing on the grounds of Bones Island, President Bio reflected on the painful history of the sites. He noted that many Sierra Leonean ancestors passed through Bones Island after being captured and sold into slavery, and many, he said, never returned home.
I came here because it is important that you know your history. It is important that you try to live that history. I just made a read there. That was the way our ancestors were brought on this island to be sold. Many never walked back. That was the jetty, the point of no return. I have the opportunity to come and to go back that way. I'll put it there in memory of the many Africans around the world whose ancestors, our ancestors who went through that, but never came back. And I hope that Sierra Leoneans will learn to live together, knowing that we have a rich heritage and we need to leave that to be able to navigate an extremely difficult world that is still ahead of us.
President Bio and his delegation then traveled to the Lester Peak Viewing Point, a modern tourism facility developed under the Sierra Leone's Economic Diversification Project. The site offers breathtaking views of Freetown, Lunge, and the surrounding landscape. The tour concluded at Takogama's Tourism Innovation and Education Center, where the president toured the new library, restaurants, and canopy walk. The Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Madam Nabila Tuni, said the government's investment in tourism is already yielding results. She revealed that Sierra Leone recorded 25,000 more visitors last year than the previous years and generated approximately 18,000 new jobs across the tourism, fashion, and creative sectors. With Bure Beach set to open as the third project under the diversification program, she said the ministry expects those numbers to grow even further.
Definitely, we've seen a progressive increase in terms of arrivals over the past years. Last year it was massive, and this year we know it's going to surpass last year's percentage, because even with the Budapest and the several meetings and conferences we've had so far, it will certainly increase our numbers. And we've realized that people have this appetite for Sierra Leone. Everywhere you go in Sierra Leone, it's all about beauty. And somebody described Sierra Leone and Freetown as having soul. There's something about this country. When you come here, you just feel like you don't want to go anywhere. And there's so much natural beauty, and that's what we're taking advantage of. So ecotourism, culture and creativity, anything that we can do to advance President Bio's agenda, his tourism agenda, culture agenda, we'll be more than happy to do it. And we're happy that he was with us today to see the fruits of his work.
Madam Tunis recalled that in 2018, President Bio identified tourism as a key pillar of Sierra Leone's economic diversification agenda, with a clear vision to transform the sector for the benefit of citizens. President Bio reaffirmed that tourism remains central to his economic development strategy and called on Sierra Leoneans to take pride in their culture, heritage, and natural attractions. The tour brought together 3 landmark destinations in one journey, showcasing Sierra Leone's rich history, growing tourism infrastructure, and future potential. Reporting for SLBC News, I am Margaret Senge.
The Saloon of Grid Renewable Energy Acceleration Bidders Workshop has commenced in Freetown, marking a major step from project planning to implementation. Held at the Hub Hotel, the 2-day workshop brought together government officials, private sector stakeholders, government partners, and technical experts to discuss the rollouts of off-grid renewable energy solutions across Sierra Leone. Yusufu Mosire Suma has more on this story.
The workshop marks a key milestone for SOGRE, which aims to expand access to clean off-grid energy across the country, especially rural communities, through solar mini-grids, standalone system, and other renewable solutions. Speaking at the event, Acting Director of Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency at the Ministry of Energy, Engineer Kumba Conte, described mini-grids as the fastest way to expand electricity access in rural communities and reaffirmed government commitment to ensuring the project's sustainability and affordability.
As part of this project, there is a MITO tool, a tariff estimation tool that the EWRX is leading, which kind of compromises affordability and sustainability. We are aware of the economic activities in the rural in the rural settings. And for that sake, this project would. So the MITO tool is a well-structured and thought-through tool that has been acceptable and that will cater for both a cost-reflective tariff, a sustainable tariff, and an affordable tariff. So it's a compromise. We'll see how that goes.
Deputy Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Mimi Yema-Suba-Stevens, praised the support of the European and Denmark government and other partners, noting that renewable energy initiatives help reduce deforestation caused by charcoal production.
Our traditional method of cooking has always been heavily laid on our forest, and for me to see something like this is a laudable one, because when this initiative goes through, including what all of you are into, it means we are saving our forest from deforestation, cutting down trees to make charcoal and firewood as well. So, and also it will help the health of our women and girls who are mainly the ones responsible for our cooking. And bringing clean energy into our homes means bringing clean air into our homes as well.
Representative from the Environment Protection Agency, EPA, emphasized the need for environmental safeguards during project implementation, while the European Union delegation highlighted the urgency of improving rural energy access, where only 6% of residents in rural communities have access to electricity.
In Africa, in particular, the access to energy is a very important aspect. So we consider this as the basic human rights for the people to have the access to energy. In Sierra Leone, in particular, we consider the statistic and data we have nowadays still only 36% of the population who have the energy access, and only 6% of the population here has the access in the rural areas, which is very low, and even in comparing to the another African countries.
The workshop features technical briefings, site planning sessions, and stakeholder discussions aimed at ensuring the successful deployment of solar mini-grids and other renewable energy solutions in underserved communities across Sierra Leone. Yusuf Mosire Suma, SLBC News, Freetown.
The Executive Secretary of the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, Awa Samai, has represented Sierra Leone at the Global Power Women Forum London 2026, bringing together women leaders, policymakers, and development partners from more than 40 countries. At the forum, Madam Samai highlighted Sierra Leone's progress in peace building and national development, stressing that peace remains the foundation for economic growth, investment, and social cohesion. She also underscored the important role women continue to play in promoting peace, inclusion, and community development. Meanwhile, Madam Samai has received international recognition from the South Carolina House of Representatives in the United States for her outstanding contributions to peace building, democratic governance, and the promotion of vulnerable communities. The honor was presented through a special resolution introduced by Representative Rosalind D. Henderson Myers, recognizing her decades of service to peace, justice, and social development in Sierra Leone and beyond. The Ministry of Health has announced significant progress in reducing maternal and child deaths across Sierra Leone during the first 100 days of its ambitious 300 days of activism for 000 campaign. The update was delivered by the Minister of Health, Dr. Austin Demby, during a press conference held in Freetown to brief the media on the achievements, challenges, and next steps of the nationwide campaign. Suzanette Bassing reports.
Launched on March 1st, 2026, the 000 campaign aims to achieve 0 preventable maternal deaths, 0 preventable child deaths, and reach every 0-dose child with life-saving vaccines. Presenting the progress report, Dr. Francis Moses, Director of Reproductive and Child Health, outlined key results of the first 100 days, which include weekly national and district performance reviews, activation of district task forces, strengthening the maternal death reviews, intensified community reach, and real-time monitoring of key indicators. He also noted key achievements and priorities for the remaining days of the campaign. Delivering the keynote address, Health Minister Dr. Austin Demby said maternal deaths have reduced by 31% during the first 100 days of the campaign, dropping from 123 deaths in 2025 to 85 deaths in 2026. He also reported an 11% reduction in child deaths, while 4,961 zero-dose children were reached with vaccines, representing 55% of the national targets.
So for us, the important thing is these are remarkable achievements, remarkable accomplishments. But what we want to do is, this is the journey to zero, yeah? This is the journey to zero. We have 300 days we're working on, so we've seen the first 100 days. Now, what are we going to do differently over the next 100 days? First, for those 85 people that died, there is an active audit that goes into what happened. What happened that led to their deaths? Did we have the medicines? Did we have the staff? Did they die of bleeding? Did they die of malaria? Did they die? We interrogated very, very thoroughly. Was there delays in arriving at the hospital? I think we've collated all of that information. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fix those problems.
5 districts were recognized and awarded for their outstanding performance. Among them were Falaba, Koinadugu, Tonkolili, Bonth, and Kenema, with Falaba emerging as the best performing district. Looking ahead, the ministry says efforts will now focus on strengthening vaccination outreach, referral systems, and support for high-burden districts during the remaining 200 days of the campaign, and this he calls for inclusivity in order to meet with the remaining. National targets. For SLBC News, Esther Suzanette Bassi reporting.
This is news coming to you live from the Salon Broadcasting Corporation from a broadcasting house at New Englandville in Freetown. We now join our sports desk for all the latest updates in local and international sports.
Hello there, it's the sporting updates that brings you the very best in local and international sports. And today we begin with athletics in this edition. Now, Sierra Leonean 100 meters sprinter Fidel Lawrence has raised concern over the selection of athletes for the 2026 Commonwealth Games to be hosted in Glasgow. Here is the update.
Well, it has been a while that we have been on this tussle because as the fastest of the nation, over 4 to 5 years now, I've been winning my national championship, back to back, so when it comes to the Commonwealth selection, it was something that was hidden, which of course it is really, really undone. So that gave me the mind, for me to come out and voice it out to the general populace for them to know what is going on really. Because as the fastest, I don't believe that I am supposed to be left out. And then the most unfortunate incident here is the first fastest, the second, the third, and the fourth. None of them are part of the Commonwealth team, which of course it is very more frustrating for us, the athletes, So that's why I decided to come here to explain to the general populace for them to aware.
Have you engaged the SLAA?
And first and foremost, if I may say this, The SLA president, the leadership, that's an autocratic government, because there is someone who doesn't listen to other people, He used to take a decision on his own, He has never had a meeting with us, the athletes, try to explain things to us. That has never happened for the past years that he has been in governance, which is the Matimamo Bangura, leadership. So I engaged him, I called him, but he was not responding. So I decided to come here today.
So what has been the response from the authorities in Sierra Leone, the players, the Ministry of Sport, the National Sport Authority, and the National Olympic Committee, the NOC?
Okay, and when this issue occurred, we went personally to the NOC, and then they told us that they gave the SLAA a 10 quota for the athletes to represent the country in the upcoming Commonwealth Games. But previously, the association told us that, Martin to be specific told us that it is 6 quota that the NOC gave to them. And then when we went to the NOC, they said it is 10. Okay, out of the 10, they said they are going to take 6 athletes here in Sierra Leone, and then they are going to have another athletes in the diaspora. I said, okay, if that's the situation, they are supposed to hold, a time trial, organize a championship meet for the 2026. But this is a situation, they did a selection wherein there is no competition, no time trial.
In the international scene, we flip our attention to the much talked about 2026 FIFA Men's Football World Cup. Well, the FIFA is on, and Bafana Bafana, the boys, will be up against Mexico in that exciting opening match. The setting may have changed from Johannesburg to Mexico City, but the anticipation remains just as high. This time it is Mexico who carry the burden and privilege of hosting, with more than 83,000 fans expected to pack the legendary Estadio Azteca for the opening ceremony. Mexico has won 2 of the 4 previous meetings between the sides, while South Africa have 1 victory and 1 draw. Their most memorable encounter, however, came in the opening match of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in Johannesburg. On that occasion, South Africa's captain Shabalala sent the home crowd into celebration with a stunning strike early in the second half, only to Mexico defender Rafael to secure a 1-0 draw for his side with a late equalizer. Yet South Africa would travel to the stadium with ambitions of their own, making their first World Cup appearance since 2010. Bafana Bafana, who emerged from a controversial African qualifying campaign under coach Hugo Bruce, known for their organization, discipline and resilience. The South Africans will hope to frustrate the host and perhaps recreate the surprise they delivered 16 years ago. For Mexico, they entered the tournament in impressive form, while for Javier's side, they've shown encouraging signs throughout the year, securing draws against European heavyweights Portugal, Belgium, before putting together 3 consecutive victories over Ghana, Australia and Serbia. Their most recent outing was a commanding 5-1 win against Serbia in Toluca. That ends your update, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Many thanks to you, Abu Kaibia, for that latest update in local and international sports. We continue to bring you more updates, especially around the World Cup. Now to end the news, the main point again. The ECOWAS Commission, together with ONEP, has engaged a cross-section of civil society organizations in Freetown to popularize the ECOWAS Vision 2050 agenda. The vision is the long-term development plan of the community, serving as collective aspirations of the people of West Africa. BBC Media Action has launched a 2-year youth-focused project, This Nawi Voice, aimed at strengthening civic participation and amplifying the voices of young people across Sierra Leone. And President Julius Maada Bio, accompanied by the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, has toured some of Sierra Leone's most important historic and modern touristic sites. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of News Hour, which came to you live from the Sterling Broadcasting Corporation from a broadcasting house here at Ningdanville in Freetown. Have been a news anchor, Ibrahim Samura. Continue to view your public broadcaster, the SLBC. News Hour returns tomorrow at 8 a.m. Goodbye.